Jasmine drops bombshell. Kirk's secret second baby, Rasheeda stunned. It started with a whisper, a cryptic message that began making its rounds on social media, sending shockwaves through the love and hip-hop community. Fans thought they had seen it all: Kirk Frost's scandals, Rasheeda's heartbreaks, Jasmine's drama. But nothing could prepare them for the revelation that was about to unfold. In a world already laced with betrayal and hidden truths, Jasmine decided to drop a bombshell so explosive, it shattered the fragile balance the Frost family had fought to rebuild. Rumors swirled like wildfire, hashtags trended overnight, and even longtime viewers who believed they had grown numb to the drama found themselves gasping for air. The whispers claimed Kirk had been hiding something bigger than cheating, bigger than Liza's secret second baby that no one, not even Rasheeda, had known about. And Jasmine, she was the one holding the receipts. Picture this: a crowded set, cameras rolling, emotions simmering just beneath the surface. Rasheeda, but guarded, thinking the past was finally behind her. Kirk, silent, perhaps too silent, with that look of unease only the guilty wear. And then Jasmine, eyes flashing, voice steady, ready to unleash words that would leave jaws on the floor. "You think I'm the villain? You think I lied before? Well, guess what, Kirk? This time, the truth is bigger than both of us. You've got another child, and the world deserves to know." The room froze. Producers exchanged glances. Cast members leaned in, desperate not to miss a single syllable. Fans at home would later say they felt their hearts pound as if they were sitting in that very room. Betrayal, heartbreak, and chaos loomed heavy in the air, and Rasheeda once again was left blindsided. What came next was the kind of reality TV storm that makes history. The kind of revelation that divides families, friendships, and fans forever. The air was thick with tension on set that evening, a kind of energy you can't see but can feel crawling across your skin, whispering that something monumental is about to erupt. Cameras were already rolling, lights blazing down, and the cast had gathered expecting the usual squabbles, shade throwing, and the kind of drama that fuels ratings but leaves everyone still able to walk away. But this time, Jasmine's eyes carried a storm that no one was prepared for. For weeks she had been dropping cryptic hints online, half sentences on Instagram stories, blurred screenshots, captions like "the truth will set me free but break you down." Fans speculated endlessly, dissecting her every word, some accusing her of clout chasing, others swearing she knew something too big to hide. Kirk had been unusually quiet, his Instagram strangely barren, his presence distant, as though he sensed the walls closing in. And Rasheeda, strong and graceful as always, believed maybe, just maybe, the worst was behind her. After surviving years of scandal, she walked onto set that day, wearing confidence like armor, unaware that within hours, her world would tilt again. The argument began innocently, at least by love and hip-hop standards. A few snide comments about loyalty, a back and forth over past mistakes, Rasheeda holding her own with a calm but razor-sharp tone, Jasmine rolling her eyes and sighing dramatically for the cameras. But something was different this time. Jasmine wasn't just being petty, her words had weight, her smirk too calculated. Then, she leaned forward across the table, eyes locked on Kirk, and delivered a line that would change everything. "You think you can keep hiding behind her? Behind this whole fake picture-perfect family you parade on TV? Kirk, you need to tell her before I do." The set went silent. Even the producers, those seasoned architects of chaos, froze in place, because they sensed this wasn't scripted drama. This was raw. This was real. Kirk shifted uncomfortably, avoiding Rasheeda's eyes, mumbling something under his breath, but it was too late. Jasmine wasn't backing down. "Fine," she snapped, her voice rising. "Then I'll say it right here, in front of everyone. You've got another child. Not mine, not Rasheeda's, someone else. And you've been hiding it." The words detonated like dynamite. Gasps echoed around the room. One cast member literally clutched her chest like she had been physically struck, while another whispered, "Oh my God," under her breath. Rasheeda blinked in stunned silence, her hand trembling slightly as she set down her drink. Kirk's face drained of color, the guilty panic written all over his expression. For years, fans had speculated about Kirk's infidelities, his lies, his endless cycle of betrayals. But the idea of a second secret child was something no one had dared to fully imagine. And now Jasmine had thrown it into the spotlight like a grenade. "What the hell are you talking about, Jasmine?" Rasheeda demanded, her voice steady but her eyes betraying the storm brewing inside. Jasmine didn't flinch. "Don't play dumb, Kirk. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You thought you could keep it buried, but you can't. Not anymore. The cameras zoomed in, catching every flicker of emotion. Rasheeda's shock, Kirk's shame, Jasmine's fiery determination. Fans watching at home would later say they had to replay the clip multiple times because the tension was so thick, it felt unreal. Producers scrambled behind the scenes, whispering frantically into headsets, trying to decide if they should cut the feed, but no one could look away. It was television gold, raw chaos unfolding in real time. Kirk tried to speak, stammering excuses, muttering about lies and setups, but Jasmine cut him off with a scathing laugh. Please, you can lie to her all you want, but you can't lie to me. You know the truth. And sooner or later, she's gonna know too. The baby's real, Kirk. The proof is out there. Rasheeda finally stood, her chair screeching across the floor. Her voice cracked, not from weakness but from the sheer weight of betrayal. Another child. Another one. She stared at Kirk, eyes glassy but blazing with anger. After everything, after all the pain, you're telling me this is still who you are? Kirk reached out, his voice desperate. Rasheeda, it's not like that. She's lying. She's just trying to stir things up. But Jasmine's laughter cut him off again, bitter and sharp. You really think anyone's gonna believe you after all the lies you've told? You played her for years, Kirk. You played me. You played everybody. But you can't play this away. The receipts are coming. The tension spilled beyond the cast. Crew members exchanged nervous looks. One of the makeup artists backstage whispered that she could literally hear her own heartbeat pounding in her ears. Social media lit up instantly as fans who were in the live audience began tweeting, Jasmine just exposed Kirk for having another baby. Rasheeda looks like she's about to fall apart. This is wild. Within minutes, hashtags like #KirkBabyBombshell and #JusticeForRasheeda began trending. For fans who had watched Rasheeda endure years of public humiliation, the scene felt both devastating and inevitable. And yet, there was still more to come. Jasmine, emboldened by the stunned silence around her, leaned in closer and said, almost in a whisper but loud enough for every microphone to catch it, she's beautiful, Kirk. Your daughter looks just like you. And the mother. Someone you swore you never even touched. The room erupted into chaos. Cast members jumped in, some yelling at Kirk to confess, others shouting at Jasmine for being messy, and Rasheeda demanding answers, with tears streaming down her face. Who is she? Rasheeda cried, her voice trembling. Who is this woman? Tell me, Kirk. But Kirk remained frozen, his mouth opening and closing like a man drowning in his own lies. Jasmine wasn't finished. She wanted the world to burn with the truth. You want to keep pretending. She spat. Fine. But just know, I've got messages. Photos. Proof. And if you think I won't show them, you're dead wrong. This isn't about me anymore. This is about your lies catching up with you. The producers finally tried to intervene, stepping between them, urging calm. But the damage was done. The seed had been planted, the world watching in shock, and Rasheeda's faith in her husband shattered all over again. The once fragile truce between Kirk and Jasmine had exploded into a full-scale war, and Rasheeda was caught in the middle of the wreckage. As the cameras captured every anguished look, every shouted word, fans knew they were witnessing a moment that would define not just the season, but the entire legacy of the Frost family saga. Betrayal had once again crawled out of the shadows, and this time, there was no hiding from it. Chaos spiraled like a wildfire after Jasmine's revelation, voices overlapping, tears falling, tempers snapping, and the cameras drinking in every volatile second of it. Rasheeda stood motionless for a moment, staring at Kirk as if seeing him for the first time. Like every year of marriage had suddenly rearranged itself into a cruel puzzle that no longer made sense. The cast around her argued loudly, some urging her to walk, some urging her away before she broke down on camera, others egging her on to demand the truth right then and there. The air buzzed with the kind of hysteria that only happens when decades of secrets begin to unravel under fluorescent lights. And through it all, Kirk sat hunched in his chair, eyes down, lips pressed tightly together, as if silence might shield him from the tidal wave bearing down. But silence was gasoline to Jasmine's fire. She leaned forward again, her tone sharpened like a blade. Say something, Kirk. Say her name. Or should I? Rasheeda's breath hitched. Her name, she repeated, her voice rising. So, there is someone. Oh my God. There really is. She turned toward Jasmine, tears blurring her vision, but her voice trembling with fury. You dropped this bomb in front of everyone. You humiliate me. And now you're gonna dangle names like this is some sick game. Who is she? Who's the mother? Jasmine didn't break eye contact with Kirk. Tell her, Kirk. Tell your wife the truth. The room crackled with suspense, everyone waiting, breath held. Finally, Kirk raised his head, his voice hoarse. It's not what she's making it sound like. It's complicated. Rasheeda laughed bitterly. A broken, hollow sound. Complicated. You mean like you lying to me for years? Complicated like stepping out on me again and again? No, Kirk, don't you dare minimize this. The other cast members closed in, sensing history in the making. One of the guys pounded the table, shouting, "Man, just own it. Stop making her look crazy." Another woman, usually quiet, spoke up fiercely. "Rasheeda, you don't deserve this. You've carried this family on your back while he dragged you through the mud." Fans in the live audience were screaming, some calling Jasmine messy, others shouting receipts. "Show us the receipts." Security hovered nearby, ready to intervene, but this wasn't a physical fight, it was emotional carnage. Kirk rubbed his temples, muttering under his breath, "I never wanted it to come out like this," and that single sentence was enough to ignite another explosion. Rasheeda's hands flew to her mouth, a sob breaking free. "Oh my God, it's true, it's really true." Jasmine pounced. "Exactly, he didn't want it to come out because he's been living a double life. Smiling in your face, acting like father of the year, while somewhere else, another little girl is growing up wondering why her daddy only shows up in the dark." The accusation sliced through the room, and suddenly, it wasn't just about Kirk and Rasheeda, it was about an innocent child hidden in the shadows of their broken vows. The audience booed Kirk. The cameras caught every wince on Rasheeda's face, and Kirk's carefully curated image as a flawed but redeemable husband collapsed like a house of cards. Rasheeda spun on him, voice cracking under the strain of betrayal. "You've embarrassed me on national television more times than I can count, but this is unforgivable. A child. Another child. How could you keep something like that from me?" Her tears flowed freely now, but her tone was ice, cutting through the noise. Kirk's response was feeble, his words a patchwork of excuses. "I was scared, Rasheeda. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't even know for sure until recently." Jasmine rolled her eyes, scoffing so loudly it drowned him out. "Oh please. Don't act brand new. You've known. You've always known. And you thought you could bury it like you buried everything else." The scene stretched on with unbearable intensity, each second magnified by the raw emotions unraveling on screen. Fans at home tweeted frantically, "Rasheeda deserves better than this clown." Jasmine came with the nuke and dropped it point blank. Kirk can't come back from this one. Within minutes, gossip blogs picked up the live leaks, headlines blasting across the internet. "Kirk Frost, father of secret baby." Jasmine shocks Rasheeda with new allegations. The Frost family drama wasn't just a storyline anymore, it was a cultural event unfolding in real time. As the storm raged, one of Rasheeda's closest friends on the cast pulled her aside, whispering urgently, "Sis, you don't have to take this here. Let's go. Don't let him see you break." But Rasheeda shook her head, her shoulders squared, her resolve hardening. She turned back toward Kirk, her voice steady despite the tears streaking her cheeks. "No, I'm not running this time. He doesn't get to hide behind silence anymore. You're gonna look me in the eye, Kirk, and you're gonna tell me everything, right now." The crowd roared in support, the audience clapping, some chanting, "Tell her, tell her." Kirk's lips trembled, his hands fidgeting, and finally he muttered, "Her name's Tasha. I knew her years ago. It was one mistake, one night." Jasmine snapped, her voice dripping with disdain. "Try multiple nights. Don't play down your dirt now. You and Tasha had a whole situation, Kirk. Don't stand here and insult Rasheeda with half-truths." Gasps shot through the room as the name Tasha echoed. Rasheeda staggered, clutching the edge of the table for support. She knew everyone in their circle knew Tasha. She was someone Kirk had always sworn was nothing more than a casual acquaintance. The betrayal twisted deeper, more personal than she ever imagined. "You had a child with her." Rasheeda's voice broke again, this time sharper, more gutted. Kirk tried to speak, but Jasmine raised her phone triumphantly. "And just so no one thinks I'm lying, I've got the messages right here. Him, begging her to keep it quiet. Him, sending money. Him, promising he'd be there when no one was watching." The set erupted again. Cast members surged forward, trying to snatch Jasmine's phone, desperate to see the proof. The producers shouted for order. The audience screamed with every new twist, and Kirk's face turned red with fury. "You had no right," he began, but Jasmine cut him off, her tone icy. "I had every right. You dragged me through hell. You dragged her through hell. And now you've dragged Rasheeda through hell again. The least you can do is stop pretending." Rasheeda looked between them, her world collapsing in real time. Her marriage, her trust, her dignity all shattered before millions of viewers. She whispered, barely audible, "How could you do this to me, Kirk? How many more lies are there?" The moment stretched unbearably, every eye in the room fixed on Kirk. Every microphone catching his ragged breathing, every camera capturing Rasheeda's devastation. The cast murmured among themselves, torn between sympathy and disbelief. While the fans online turned the scandal into a frenzy, rumors spread, theories multiplied. Was the child older than Jasmine's son? Had Kirk been maintaining two separate secret families? And most painfully, what would become of Rasheeda now? She had stood by him through humiliation after humiliation, but this revelation threatened to be the final straw. And still, Jasmine wasn't finished. She leaned back, crossing her arms with a cold smile. "See, Kirk, you thought you could keep this buried forever. But the truth always finds its way out. And this time, there's no going back." The cameras zoomed in on Rasheeda's face, capturing the exact moment her faith in her husband broke apart for the world to see. The stage felt like a battlefield now, emotions clashing harder than fists ever could, and in the center of it all stood Rasheeda, broken yet unyielding, facing the man who had once sworn to protect her heart but instead shattered it time and time again. The audience had quieted down, sensing that what was unfolding was no longer just entertainment, it was raw heartbreak bleeding into the spotlight. Rasheeda's voice shook as she asked again, her tone demanding but drenched in anguish, "How old is she, Kirk? Don't you dare lie to me. How old is your daughter?" Kirk's jaw tightened, his eyes darting around the room as if searching for an escape. "She's 3, he muttered finally, the word hanging in the air like poison. The collective gasp from the crowd was deafening. Rasheeda staggered back as if she'd been struck, her hand flying to her chest. 3 years old. That means you were with me, sleeping next to me, building this fake happy life while you had a whole baby being born." The betrayal hit harder than any scandal before. Fans watching online flooded timelines with outrage. 3 years, Kirk has no shame. Rasheeda deserves better. Period. On set, the cast erupted again, voices overlapping in a chorus of disbelief. One friend slammed her fist on the table. "You mean to tell me you've been living like nothing happened while another child's out there without her father? That's disgusting, Kirk." Another shook her head in fury. "You don't even deserve Rasheeda at this point. She gave you chance after chance." Jasmine, seizing her moment, cut in with her voice, sharp and unforgiving. "Exactly. And the worst part is, Rasheeda, he didn't just cheat. He built a second family in the shadows. He was there. He was there. When she was born, he was there." Kirk's head snapped toward her, his tone rising defensively. "That's not true. Don't twist it. I wasn't there like that." But Jasmine laughed coldly, pulling her phone back up. "Receipts, Kirk. Remember these?" She flashed the screen, showing texts that scrolled like daggers across the display. "I'm sorry, I can't be at the hospital, but I'll come by tonight. Don't post nothing." The words were unmistakably his, the casual secrecy undeniable. Rasheeda's knees buckled, and for a moment, it seemed she might collapse. 2 of her castmates rushed to her side, holding her steady, whispering words of comfort. But her eyes never left Kirk's. They were wide, wet, and blazing all at once. "You missed family birthdays, you missed anniversaries, and all that time, you were sneaking away to see her. How could you do this to us? How could you do this to me?" Kirk's attempts at damage control only made it worse. "I was confused. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to lose you. Rasheeda, you're my world." But Rasheeda's laughter cut him down, hollow and broken. "Your world? You had another world the whole time, Kirk, and I'm just now finding out, on camera, with the whole damn world watching." Tears streamed down her face, and her voice cracked. "You made me look like a fool again, only this time, it's worse. Because now there's a child, an innocent baby in the middle of your lies." The room was split, some cast members cursing Kirk under their breath, others shaking their heads in disbelief, while fans in the live audience shouted, "Leave him, Rasheeda, leave him." The intensity was suffocating, and still Jasmine wasn't done. Her words dripped with venom but also with a sense of twisted justice. "You know what hurts the most, Rasheeda? He only stepped up when nobody could see. Private visits, late-night calls, hush money. But did he ever take her to the park in daylight? Did he ever show up proud, like he does with y'all kids? No, he kept her hidden like a dirty little secret. That's the man you've been defending. The impact was devastating. Rasheeda sobbed openly now, her makeup streaking, but her voice carried power. I gave you my life, Kirk. I forgave you when the whole world said I was stupid. I believed in us when there was nothing left to believe in. And this is how you repay me. With another baby I had to hear about from her. She pointed at Jasmine, her hand trembling. The confrontation hit a fever pitch, the set buzzing with electricity, security stepping closer as if a fight might break out. Kirk tried to approach Rasheeda, his hands outstretched, but she shoved him back, her fury unmatched. Don't you touch me? Don't you dare. The silence that followed was crushing, broken only by the sobs of a woman betrayed too many times. Then, in a shocking twist, Jasmine dropped yet another revelation. And let me be clear, Rasheeda isn't just about you. There are other women too. Women who might not have kids but who've got stories. Kirk's been sloppy, and it was only a matter of time before it all caught up to him. The crowd gasped again, some cast members shouting, in disbelief, others holding their heads in their hands. Other women, Rasheeda repeated faintly, her voice cracking under the weight of endless betrayal. Jasmine nodded grimly, her arms folded. You really think you're the only one he lied to? Please, Kirk's had a whole roster. Kirk snapped then, his composure shattering. Stop it. Stop lying on me. You just want to destroy me because you're bitter. But the damage was irreversible. The narrative had shifted completely. Fans watching at home weren't debating anymore, they had made their judgment. Kirk wasn't just flawed, he was irredeemable. The hashtags turned brutal. Hashtag cancel Kirk. Hashtag poor Rasheeda. Hashtag frost family mess. Blogs exploded with think pieces, memes, flooded timelines, and clips of Rasheeda's tear-streaked face became viral symbols of heartbreak. On set, Rasheeda straightened slowly, wiping her tears, her face hardening into steel. You know what, Kirk, I'm done. I've said that before, but this time, I mean it. You can lie, you can twist, you can beg, but you can't undo this. You can't erase that child. You can't erase those lies. And you sure as hell can't erase the pain you've put me through. I deserve better. My kids deserve better. And I swear to God, this ends tonight. Her voice cracked, but her resolve was unshakable. The room erupted in applause, cast members cheering her strength, fans screaming support. But then, just as the storm seemed to settle into devastation, Jasmine delivered one final twist, her voice low but piercing. You think you know the timeline, Rasheeda. You don't. That baby, she's older than 3. She's 4. The shock was immediate. Heads whipped around, jaws dropped, and Rasheeda froze mid-breath. Kirk's eyes widened in panic, his face betraying a secret he never wanted exposed. Jasmine smirked, satisfied. That's right. Which means he was already lying to you before the last scandal even hit. He's been playing this game longer than you ever imagined. The revelation was nuclear. Rasheeda gasped, the betrayal doubling in weight. For oh my God, Kirk, you were already lying before I even forgave you last time. Kirk's silence was his answer, his shame written across every line of his face. The room roared again, voices overlapping, the chaos spinning out of control. But the cameras captured it all, the implosion of a marriage, the unraveling of a family, and the ultimate exposure of a man who could no longer run from his past. The revelation that the child was 4, not 3, hung in the air like toxic smoke, suffocating everyone in the room. Rasheeda's breathing grew ragged, her eyes wide with disbelief as the weight of years of lies came crashing down on her, all at once. For years, she whispered, her voice trembling but audible enough for the cameras to catch. For years you've been looking me in my face, sharing my bed, raising our kids. While another child was out there, hidden from me. You let me walk around blind, defending you, forgiving you, while you were laughing behind my back. Her voice cracked into a sob, but then it hardened into steel. You disgust me, Kirk. Kirk stumbled forward, his hands shaking as he tried to speak. Rasheeda listened, but his voice faltered under the fire in her eyes. For the first time in years, she wasn't looking at him like her husband. She was looking at him like the stranger he had become. Don't you dare try to spin this. Don't you dare insult me with excuses. You've broken me before, but this This is unforgivable. You didn't just cheat, you created a whole other life and hid it from me. That's not a mistake, Kirk. That's who you are. The cast was in chaos. Some were shouting at Kirk, telling him to sit down and own up. Others were crying for Rasheeda, visibly shaken by her pain. One castmate, tears streaming down her cheeks, yelled, "I can't believe you, Kirk. You've got no respect for your family." Another shook his head, muttering, "This man needs help. Serious help." Jasmine sat back with her arms folded, her expression a mixture of triumph and bitterness. For once, she wasn't the villain. She was the truth-teller, the whistleblower, the one holding Kirk's mask up to the light. And she knew it. "I tried to warn you, Rasheeda," she said softly, but her words carried sharp edges. "I told you he wasn't done. I told you he hadn't changed. You wanted to believe in him, but now you see it for yourself." Rasheeda's face twisted in anger. "Don't act like you're doing me a favor, Jasmine. You helped create this mess too. You knew who he was, and you still played along. Don't stand there and act holier than thou." The room tensed again, the crowd buzzing, as the two women locked eyes. For a moment, it seemed another blow-up was inevitable, but then Rasheeda's voice broke, softer this time. "But at least you didn't lie to me about this." "He did." The statement was final, devastating in its simplicity. It stripped Kirk of any defense, leaving him exposed, trembling in the ruins of his own deceit. Kirk tried one last time, his voice cracking under the pressure. "I was scared. Okay. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to lose my family. I thought if I kept it quiet, it would all just go away." The admission sent the room spiraling into outrage again. One castmate stood up, furious. "So you thought hiding a whole human being was better than telling your wife the truth? You're pathetic, Kirk." Another chimed in. "Man, you've been doing Rasheeda dirty for years. Enough is enough." Rasheeda raised her hand, silencing the chaos. Her voice was calm now, almost eerily so, but every word struck with deadly precision. "You didn't want to lose your family? You lost us the moment you chose lies over honesty. You lost me the moment you looked me in the eye and swore you had changed, when deep down you knew you hadn't. You didn't protect us, Kirk. You destroyed us." Tears rolled down her face again, but her body stood tall, her strength undeniable. "And now, I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting my children. We're done. Do you hear me? Done." The audience erupted, some cheering, some crying, all of them witnessing the moment Rasheeda finally broke free. It wasn't just a breakup, it was liberation, a reclaiming of her dignity in front of the very world that had seen her pain play out for years. Fans online blew up instantly. Yes, Rasheeda, finally leaving him behind. This is her era. The hashtags shifted from anger to empowerment. Hashtag strong RASHEEDA. Hashtag free at last. Hashtag no more Kirk. But the storm wasn't finished yet. Just as Rasheeda turned to walk away, Jasmine dropped one last dagger. "Oh, and Kirk. Since you want to keep acting like you're some kind of victim in all this, maybe you should tell Rasheeda about the support payments. The ones you've been making in secret, every month, out of their joint account." The explosion was immediate. Rasheeda spun back around, her face etched with fury. "Oh, you are money. You've been using our money to pay for your lies." Kirk stuttered, his face paling, but the truth was clear before he even spoke. "It was just temporary," he began, but Rasheeda cut him off with a scream. "Temporary? You've been stealing from your own household to cover your betrayal. You are unbelievable." The room was in shambles. Cast members shouted. Producers scrambled to maintain order. Security held back the audience, who were screaming in rage. Some fans were openly crying, clutching tissues, unable to believe the level of deceit unfolding before their eyes. On Twitter, the meltdown was unprecedented. Memes of Kirk's guilty face spread like wildfire, with captions like "caught in 4K" and "this man gotta be stopped." Meanwhile, clips of Rasheeda's powerful declaration of independence racked up millions of views within hours. Through it all, Rasheeda stood firm, her tears drying into resolve. "I'm not just walking away, Kirk," she said coldly. "I'm taking back everything. My money, my pride, my peace. You can keep your secrets, your lies, your mess, but you will not keep me." The applause was thunderous, the cheers deafening, the entire set vibrating with the magnitude of the moment. Kirk sank into his chair, head in his hands, the reality of his downfall finally crushing him. For the first time, he looked small, defeated, stripped of the bravado that had carried him through scandal after scandal. This time, there was no comeback. Jasmine, watching from across the room, smirked faintly but said nothing more. Her work was done. She had set fire to Kirk's carefully constructed facade, and now she was content to watch it burn. But even she couldn't have predicted the power of what came next. Rasheeda, turning to the cameras directly, her voice steady, her eyes blazing with determination. Ladies, listen to me. Don't let a man's lies keep you chained. Don't let his excuses keep you broken. If he shows you who he is, believe him the first time. I wasted years defending someone who didn't deserve it. But tonight, I'm taking my life back. And I hope all of you watching know you can too. The audience rose to their feet in ovation, some chanting her name, others crying from the rawness of her words. Social media lit up with messages of solidarity, fans from around the world flooding her page with love and support. We love you, Rasheeda. You're stronger than you know. Queen energy. The energy had shifted completely. What began as humiliation had transformed into empowerment, and the world was here for it. Kirk sat silent, broken, unable to respond, while Rasheeda walked off set with her head high, the cheers of the audience chasing her into the night. Jasmine leaned back in her chair, satisfied but strangely subdued, as if even she hadn't expected the storm to end this way. The cameras zoomed in one last time on Kirk's defeated face, capturing the moment his empire crumbled, his lies exposed, his family gone. The Frost family saga would never be the same again. And just like that, the night ended not with Kirk's excuses, but with Rasheeda's triumph. The truth had been dragged out into the light, every lie laid bare, every secret exposed, and for once there was no way back. Jasmine had dropped the bombshell, and Kirk's empire crumbled under the weight of his own betrayal. But in the rubble, something powerful rose. Rasheeda's strength, her voice, her refusal to be broken again. Fans were stunned. The cast was shaken, and the Frost family name would never sound the same again. Still, the questions linger. What happens next for Kirk, stripped of his family and his pride? Will Jasmine play a bigger role in this child's life now that the secret is out? And most importantly, where does Rasheeda go from here? Will she rebuild on her own? Or could there ever be a twist where forgiveness creeps back in? If there's one thing this saga has taught us, it's that in the world of love and hip-hop, nothing is ever truly over. But for now, one truth stands clear. Rasheeda walked away with her head high, reclaiming her power, while Kirk was left with nothing but regret. And fans across the globe are still talking, still reeling, still debating, was Jasmine right to air it out this way? Did Rasheeda finally make the right call by closing the door for good? Or do you think this storm is just the beginning of something even bigger? We want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Should Rasheeda give Kirk another chance? Or is it really over this time? Don't forget to smash that like button if you're Team Rasheeda, and hit subscribe, so you never miss the next twist in this wild roller coaster of drama. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.